Welcome back to the CryptoBot channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and let's get straight into the Bitcoin charts today. This right here is the 12-hour time frame, and currently we are seeing a short-term cool-off as expected. If you've been watching my recent Bitcoin update videos, especially over the past 2 days, I've been letting you know that the 12-hour Bitcoin RSI is entering into overbought territories, which is basically a signal to us that Bitcoin is due for some sort of cool-off, at least in the shorter term, meaning either a sideways consolidation or a slight pullback in the Bitcoin price to give the RSI a chance to cool off back down towards neutral values before giving us more room to the upside later on. And so obviously that has been happening over the past 1 day. And for any of the beginners out there, this is very normal in an uptrend. And in fact, it's very healthy for an uptrend in the Bitcoin price. Because if the Bitcoin price just goes straight to the upside without any sort of pullbacks, then we'll go well into overbought territories. And in that scenario, rather than just playing out a short-term cool-off, we would likely see a major dump in the Bitcoin price after seeing a major pump. But if the Bitcoin price essentially plays out an uptrend where we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, in a trend like that, we can go a lot further to the upside and last for a lot longer. And in case the Bitcoin price plays out a little bit more of a pullback here in the shorter term, then some important levels of support would be coming in at around 45,000 to 46,000. And honestly, anything above those levels, so basically anything above 45k, is still looking really bullish here. And we would only start flipping more bearish again if we see a confirmed break below 45,000, but for now, we have not seen that at the time of recording this video. And if you're zooming out to the daily Bitcoin chart, first of all, we have this 50% resistance level coming in at just underneath 48,000, which we have recently found resistance at. And of course, that coincided with the fact that the daily Bitcoin RSI brushed against overbought territories. But right now, we're beginning to see a small move away from overbought territories, which is a step in the right direction for the daily Bitcoin RSI. Because as I said earlier, if the RSI sees a pullback towards neutral levels again, then that would simply give the Bitcoin price more room to the upside later on. And in that scenario, once again, we have 48,000 to pay attention to, and our next important point of resistance would be coming in at around $52,000 to $53,000 per Bitcoin. But if you're looking at the technical price target for the breakout out of this ascending triangle pattern, that price target is coming in at around 58,000. And what is very interesting about that price target is something that we can see on the weekly Bitcoin chart. And I covered this indicator a while back on the channel. And by the way, the name of this indicator is Super Trend version 1.0. And this Super Trend indicator is meant to give us buy and sell signals, but personally, I do not use it for that because the buy and sell signals aren't actually that accurate. Instead, the reason why I look at this Super Trend indicator on the weekly Bitcoin chart is for support and resistance levels. For example, if you're taking a look at this Super Trend indicator at late 2019 and early 2020, when the Super Trend flipped red, we found massive amounts of resistance along this level, which at that time was coming in at just above 10,000 US dollars. And you can see that we actually found 2 massive points of resistance there. And again, if you're looking in early September last year, we found a massive point of resistance along this same Super Trend indicator when the indicator was in the red. And as of right now, this Super Trend indicator on the weekly Bitcoin chart is currently coming in at around $57,000 per Bitcoin, which is very close to the $58,000 price target from this ascending triangle pattern. So just quickly recapping the important levels to pay attention to. As for support, that would be coming in at around 45 to 46,000. And as for resistance, first of all, that would be coming in at around 48,000. And above that, I'll be expecting resistance at around 52,000 to 53,000. And then anything above that, I'll be looking towards around 57,000 to 58,000. And just giving you a really quick update on the percentage of Bitcoin short positions on the Binance exchange and the Bybit exchange. And currently at the time of recording this video, the short positions are still sitting pretty close to record highs, but over the past few days, we have seen a slight pullback in short positions over on Binance because obviously we've seen a lot of shorts get wrecked as the Bitcoin price has been pumping over the past 1 to 2 weeks. But as you can see right here on the chart, pretty much every single time where we see a massive amount of short positions currently active in the market, almost always more bullish price action is just around the corner to essentially liquidate a lot of those short positions. And so the fact that there's still a lot of traders out there with active short positions on these 2 major exchanges is technically more of a bullish signal than a bearish signal, but this is talking about the bigger picture, talking about these much larger moves in the market, not the day-to-day price action. And just taking a quick look at the Bitcoin order books across all of these exchanges, and starting off with the sell orders, what we can see right here is a lot of sell orders coming in at around 48,000, which is confirming the fact that there is indeed resistance at around 48,000. But if you're looking at the buy orders, we actually have more of an even distribution in the buy orders, at least until we get towards towards around $44,000 per Bitcoin, where we see a massive increase in Bitcoin buy orders. So essentially what that means is even in a more bearish scenario where we could see a wick to the downside, if the Bitcoin price goes anywhere near around 44 to 43,000, there's a lot of buyers in that region wanting to accumulate more Bitcoin, which would obviously help support the Bitcoin price at those lower levels, even if we get to those lower levels. So basically, as the Bitcoin price has been grinding higher over the past 2 weeks, we're actually seeing the demand for Bitcoin, the wall of buy orders, start increasing at these higher levels. And as I just said, the current buy wall in the Bitcoin order books is currently coming in at around 44,000 and has been rising alongside this uptrend so far. And of course, when you're zooming out to the larger timeframes like the 3-day Bitcoin chart, both the 3-day Bitcoin RSI and the 3-day Bitcoin MACD are still looking much more bullish than bearish. And the 3-day RSI, for example, still has a lot more room to the upside. But speaking about the 3-day Bitcoin RSI, something interesting to point out is the fact that we currently have this downward sloping line of resistance drawn between these previous 2 highs, and the Bitcoin RSI on the 3-day time frame is currently coming into contact with this line of resistance.